you the last couple of days. Sorry I haven't been here. I will explain that in a moment. While we are waiting on folks to join, reminding you Cooped Up is my website. You can visit anytime. I'm Cooped Up as my handle on all the social places. Would love a follow wherever you watch or listen to this, specifically on the Instagrams if you were there, and also wherever you watch or listen to this. It is broadcast on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, as well as rebroadcast all in audio format and all the podcasting platforms. Click the bell, subscribe, whatever it is, that you don't miss a minute of it. So with that, let's get rolling. Hope everyone has had a great week. I think that it's Friday. Happy Friday, by the way. I think the last time I came live was, what day was it? Monday. I think it was on Monday I came live. And it's been a crazy week since then. So the main reason that I have not come live is, hey, Mama, good to see you. The main reason I have not come live is that we are having our roof replaced right now. And it is so loud in my house. They arrive at like 6:30 in the morning. They get started around 7 in the morning because that's now when sunlight is out, thank goodness. And it is just banging and scraping and banging and scraping. Boom, 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 boom. Like, it's maddening. And so I have just not been here. I have been like leaving the minute I can, doing other things, going to my office, whatever. Hey, Sandy, good to see you. And thank you for your email, Sandy, or your message earlier asking if I was okay. I do appreciate it when I disappear and people actually notice. That's very nice of you. No, it's just maddening when they're replacing the roof. It's not happening at the moment because it's a rainy day in Dallas. And we'll talk more about that also in a moment. But the roof, it's going to take at least 2 weeks to finish our roof. They are mostly done with the demolition part where they scrape off all of it. They repair any wood that was compromised, rotted, whatever. There's a couple of places where that was the case. And then we have a couple of spots where they still have not taken the old shingles off yet. But that is in the work. And I'm hoping that is the loudest part. I know the rest of it's going to be a lot of like shooting nails. But I'm hoping that is less just like jarring. Because this is like, I mean, just the scrapings are literally, and then just throwing stuff off. So I look out the window and I just see stuff showering down. Crazy. But 2 weeks to that, and we are getting a special kind of roof. Of course we are, because we're fancy like that. So we are not doing asphalt shingles like everybody else in the world does. We are, our house was originally built with cedar planks, like cedar, like shakes. I don't know what the right word is for them, but like they're real cedar tiles. You can't do that in Texas anymore because they won't insure it. And but there are synthetic versions of it that basically are made out of plastic or rubber that you can do that look really realistic. At first they look very plasticky, but then after a couple months they lose their sheen and they look very realistic. So we are having that done. It's not cheap, I'm just going to tell you that, but it's going to look great. And it is guaranteed to last for 50 years. So we will never have to replace this roof again. Well, unless a tornado hits our house or a fire or something. But under normal circumstances, hail, wind, rain, we will not have to replace the thing. So that starts. But the smell right now in our house is so terrible. So terrible. And I'm actually worried about it because our whole house smells like we're just huffing Sharpies all day long. So I'm surprised we've all not lost brain cells yet. All of those tiles, those plastic tiles, are in the garage, which is directly below me right now, are in the garage, and the off-gassing that is coming from them, it is insane. So our whole house smells terrible. But hopefully once they get started next, I'm hoping that they're done with the demolition this week and they get that done. And then, and they say the whole thing is going to take 2 weeks. That also includes the new gutters. We're getting copper look gutters. You can't do copper gutters because they get stolen in like a minute. All the meth heads want to steal the copper. So you do copper look. That's what we're doing. Big round ones, like kind of old-fashioned-y looking things. They got hangers that they hook onto. It's going to be really, really remarkable when it's done. I give Todd full credit for all of this. All I know is when it's happening. I am unhappy about it at the moment because I can't put the Christmas lights on my house. So there's not a stitch of Christmas going on at Casa de Cach at the moment. No Christmas Caches yet. So I'm running way behind on that. So maybe this will be a light year for it. I don't know. Please share a pic when it's done. I will, Kelly. Yes. And Hailproof. Yes. It's crazy. They are category 5, I believe. Something like there's some category thing. They're like as high as you can go on that category ranking for, I think that maybe like if a tree falls on the house, that obviously it's not going to repel that. I think for the first couple of months, our house is going to look like it's been made by preschool. Talking about like the Weeble Wobbles people or whatever, the little people. So it's going to probably look very plasticky. But after 50 years, it'll look great. Yeah. Sweater Weather Cooper. I am so happy. This is one of my favorite sweaters. It's this Ancient J. Crew. Those are the only patches I do. It doesn't have, you can see how old it is, how shiny the elbows are. But it is, so I don't know how it is where everyone else is, but it is chilly near downtown Dallas, Oak Cliff, Texas. I think the high today was this morning and it was 54 degrees. And right now it's in the 40s and super, super rainy. The weirdest, so I was not here this morning. Mason and I had a tour of Booker T. Washington High School for the Visual and Performing Arts this morning. I'll tell you about that in a moment. But while we were gone, I get a text from Todd that the roofing people, they had their safety person, their OSHA monitor, I don't know, something with OSHA and safety and all that kind of stuff, was on the roof this morning, and he fell off the roof. And he fell off the roof at the highest point, basically like a 3-story fall. He landed on one of our Italian cypresses in the back of the house, pulled it, broke it in half, and landed on cement. Because we have a walkway, because our lot is tiered. We're on half an acre, but much of it is woods, and we have an upper lawn. And so there's a wall, an old wall from like the 30s, between our kitchen door, or kind of like breakfast room door, and the upper lawn. And there's a walkway, really pretty walkway, lots of plantings and stuff. He landed on the cement right there. Todd texts me. He's like, the safety guy fell off the roof. And it's like, oh shit. So he's, as far as we know, he got up. He's fine. He got up. He gave us his card. They're going to replace the Italian cypress. We actually don't want them to replace the Italian. They were dying anyway. Italian cypresses are like the worst tree ever. Do not plant one ever. They look good for about a minute, and then they start looking mangy, and they're so sensitive to everything. Like, just don't do it. So I don't know what we're going to plant instead. We're going to get some cash, maybe some money off of our roof. So this is my hunting sweater. I know. Oh, I should have worn my riding boots today. I would have been so basic. Yes. At the Booker T thing, I probably would have gotten some eye rolls from my son too. But yeah, safety guy fell through. And Todd said it was like out of a movie. So Todd is on a Zoom call, and he has a window that sits like basically like where this bookshelf is when he's on a Zoom call. And he said the guy fell like in front of the window, and he saw it in the background, like, and heard a thud. And he was on this call, and he's like, okay, folks, I got to go by. Click, like hung up and ran downstairs to check on the guy. Crazy. And I think this weather surprised everybody today, because the roofers, they don't show up if there's more than I think it's a 20% chance of rain. There's some number that they use, 25%, 40. I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, they do not come out if the chances are, and it's a fairly low number. It's like 25%. They won't come out at all. They won't send a crew out. Well, this morning at 6:30, everyone is arriving. At 7, they're starting to climb on the roof. And we're doing all kinds of stuff. And then I left. Mason and I needed to leave by like 8:45 this morning to go down to Booker T. And we went, I need to write that down, Kelly. Thank you. Kelly's giving me a recommendation on a tree to look at. Thank you. I wrote it down. But anyway, so on our way to Booker T, it starts pouring ass, and I did not have an umbrella, so we were running. That's why my hair is extra curly today, kind of mangy looking. We had to make a run for it. You park under the highway on ramp, or the highway, Woodall Rogers here in Dallas, and then you had to like run into the high school. Yeah. And we ran into the student entrance, and they're like, "You're not supposed to come in this way." And then I turn around and look out, so they're like, "Oh, come on." And they just took us the back way in. So we got an extra special tour of Booker T. Washington this morning. Anyway, all of the workers came. We're here for like 15 minutes. No, more than that. Maybe like an hour and a half. Because it started raining. What time did I say it started? About 9. They got here at 6:30. And they all had to leave. I wish they would have been able to work today, though, because I want this fucking roof done so I can get my Christmas lights up. I also can't put the reindeer up in the front yard because there's too much equipment going on. And also, our Christmas light people are the ones who help us put the reindeer up. I need my 30-foot reindeer in the front yard. Eric was saying it was predicting 15% chance of rain when he got to school. I know. Well, it ended up being 115% because I think it's still raining right now. It looks pretty dreary. I went to Tom Thumb. Mason got a haircut. We had lunch at Taco Day. Mason didn't go to school today. The tour went from 9:30 until 11. And then I was like, fuck it. We're just going to get you a haircut. We're going to go to lunch, all that kind of stuff. We're going to run to Tom Thumb. Are we having a reindeer erection party this year? It will be an impromptu thing if we do. Yes. We will not know when the reindeer erection is going to happen until it happens. That phrase just cracks me up always. Hey Pam, I'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm excited about it. Someone is saying, I'm assuming this is Raven. It usually is. I have seen those manufactured singles. They look really good. There's another house. There's only one other house in Oak Cliff who has them, and we went down. And here's the thing on those shingles. I forgot to say this earlier. At first, when we were looking at them, I'm like, oh, it's so weird. It's so different. It's so like, and not in a way that I didn't want it to be like artificial or whatever. But then I started thinking about it. Isn't it really stupid? Aren't shingles just generally stupid anyway? Like asphalt, thin sheets of asphalt with a bunch of little pebbles glued to them, tar and all of that. Isn't that actually kind of dumb too? And then they somehow make them to look like other things, and it never actually looks like slate, or it never actually looks like anything else. We looked at all of them. So, and finally I was like, you know what, Todd, let's just do it. Like, oh, it's not one of those things we can do over though, because this is like basically it's a 6-figure roof replacement. I kid you not, folks. But home improvement loan, all that kind of stuff is taking care of that. So we went to Booker T this morning, and again, Booker T Washington High School of the Visual and Performing Arts, something like that. It could be performing in visual arts, but it is basically the Dallas equivalent of Fame. Remember the TV show Fame? I want to live forever with Debbie Allen and all that. It is exactly like that on the inside. There's kids dancing. There's guitars all over there, instruments all over the place. There's music, like people practicing violin, dance, like studios all over the place, art all over the place. It was really, really a fun, energetic place. And we started off in the theater, and then we broke up and all over the place. But one of the things, so Mason has only ever been this was literally his second time ever in a public school building, ever. The other time was last weekend when we went to Adamson High School to their gym to go to a school fair. And so he's kind of like, oh, whoa, this is huge. This is big. But every time I've asked him about what he liked about it, and other people, like when we picked up Claire, we saw both of his teachers, saw some other people. What do you like about it? And he says the diversity, which I was very proud of him on that. And when I asked him, like, what do you mean diversity? There was 2 things. He liked seeing a lot of different types of people, colors of people. But more importantly, he was like, I like the diversity that everyone just looked different in the sense of, he was like, we saw a guy with a buzz cut and we saw a guy with a mullet. We saw we saw boys with painted fingernails. We saw like concert T-shirts. We saw all like just he loved that everyone was just kind of flying their freak flag there and embracing it, and everyone was so kind and happy. It felt like a very, very uplifting environment too. So we were very happy about that. And because I'll tell you our initial experience, I told y'all this last week or earlier this week at that school fair was the woman we went up to. She was like, what conservatory do you want to be in? He was like, well, either visual arts or performing arts. Just, you got to pick. Like, she was just really aggressive about it. But yeah, but it is a commitment, y'all. Like the step process for it. And we've got to attend a workshop tomorrow to learn about the audition process for the visual arts program. And then we have another open house in a couple of weeks for it. And then we've got, there's another workshop for the performing arts in about a month also to learn about what that has to do. I was very happy to hear, though, that if you are in the city of Dallas or the DISD school district, that as long as you make more than a 70 on your audition, you are accepted to Booker T. I was very happy to hear that. And for if he does a performing arts audition, which I actually do think is the better one to do. At first, I thought it was going to be harder, but I think it's the better one. Because once you get in after 2 years, you can switch your focus also. He has to memorize a monologue, and he has to memorize and perform a monologue from an American playwright. They give you some examples that you're welcome to use, or you can find your own. And then they do a dry read and or a cold read, I think is what they call it. They give you 10 minutes to read it, and then you have to just read it, this monologue for that. And then you do like a movement kind of thing, like an interpretive, like they tell you, like you're a dinosaur who's decorating a Christmas tree. That's the example I keep using, and do that kind of thing. And they're looking for just a spark. So we, coincidentally, so our tour only had 4 people on it. All the rest of them were big. Somehow we only ended up with one, a mom and a daughter. And we ran into the head of the performing arts program, and she spent like 10 minutes with us giving us specific advice on like the audition process. Basically, she's like, in the cold read, don't just read it to me. Don't even just act it to me. Like, have a point of view, which is fascinating, which I think this is actually really good for life in general. She was like, if you want to, she was like, make it interpretive. So like you're reading it, but think about like a backstory on it. Think about like, ooh, I wonder what this person would dance like, and then maybe do a little dance in it, or like, do they have an accent? Like, do it with an accent. She's like, it doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to see that you have that kind of ingenuity, that ability to do that. So I was very happy to hear that. Got invited into so many classrooms, like walking by, and they're like, you're on tour, come on in. All the kids we met were like waving. It was really, really awesome. So very happy about that. Mason is happy about it. We have another tour, I think early next week for a private school. And then we have like a 2-week break, and then we get back and Mason takes that private school test. And then we have some other tours lined up. Oh, he has a shadow day at City Lab High School too, which I'm excited about. Are we getting the copper tiles on the Smurf House in Highland Park? I love that house. So for those of you who don't know what it is, at the southern entrance to Highland Park, which is the ritzy suburb here, that's in like an island, sort of its own town in Dallas. There's this house that is it's so controversial because it looks like a Smurf house. It is so like, there's no like, it's very organic, no straight or 90-degree angles or anything like that. People lost their mind when they built it. And Stanley Marcus, actually the founder of Neiman Marcus, came to these people's defense publicly. And I agree with him fully on this. I love that they were allowed to do it. Like I mean, it's an expensive house, so they had the money, obviously. But I love that was their dream. And it's got like wispy grass in the front. It's so cool. But it is a specific taste. But I love that it is that we have the freedom here to do that. That made them happy. That it makes other people happy when they see it. It always makes me happy when I see it. So, Sandy's saying, glad to hear the tour was so much fun. Thank you. I am very happy about that as well. So I took Mason. You just Googled it. Yeah, the Smurf House. It is so cute. And it's got this like striped awning on it also that comes out to the street so that they're covered when they're walking. I just adore that house. And I've never even seen the inside of it. I just know what the outside looks like in the landscaping. So I took Mason to get a haircut earlier to the salon to get his hair done. And while I'm there, I'm waiting in the chairs. I mean, in like the sofas in the front. This woman walks up to me and she's like, "Excuse me, are you Dutch?" Random. "Are you Dutch?" And I'm like, "No. I mean, genetically, I think I'm very Scandinavian." I took one of those, and she was like, "Oh." She's like, I just thought you were Dutch because you're so chic." I'm like, "Oh, I love you." I'm sure it's this sweater. This sweater is it looks so good on me. Also, I've lost enough weight where it doesn't like pooch in the bottom. It's still probably the thickest part of my body, but because I have the pecs of like a 9-year-old girl. But it looks good on me. It's very slimming, the little slight horizontal or vertical stripes. And then I'm sure the nails and all of that. So, and I've got really cute shoes on today. I can't show you, but I've got cute shoes on today too. But excuse me, are you Dutch? Yes. No, I'm not Dutch. I don't think I'm Dutch at all. I know a few Dutch words. I've had some Dutch in me, but oh, that's not a good joke to tell with your mother watching. I have my follow-up doctor's appointment on Monday for my blood pressure thing. I think he's going to up it because my blood pressure has come down a lot, but it has not come down to normal or even slightly elevated. So it still needs to come down more. So my guess is he's going to up the ampage, whatever it is, whatever you call the prescription for that. I also am wondering, so I've been looking at some of the side effects of this medicine that I'm taking, and there were 2 side effects that I think I'm experiencing and that I also do need to talk to him about, because one of them is it drops your voice, and I don't know if my voice is significantly deeper. I've always had a deep voice, but I feel like I've got like these really strong, like Maya Angelou dulcet tones right now, which I'm not complaining about. It's just, it's changed. And then I have like this dry cough, and I can't tell if the dry cough is my allergies, because fall is when I have my most terrible allergies, or if it is this lisapropyl, whatever the pill is called. So I'm going to give it a shot, though. Keep on it. It's not annoying me enough that it would be. Now, if I double the strength of this prescription and I end up talking like this, we'll have a problem. But I mean, you can hear it in my voice, I'm sure. So we'll see what happens Monday morning with the doctor's appointment. Sandy is asking how are the ADD meds going? I've not started them yet. My doctor, my primary care physician, asked me to let's just get a baseline on the blood pressure. Let's get it stabilized first before we add another drug to the mix. So I had the prescription. It's ready to go. I just have not started it yet. So Eric is saying, I've noticed your deeper voice in the videos. I thought maybe it was just my phone or the computer. Yeah, it's my voice has dropped like multiple notes. I don't know. It's not octave. It has not dropped an octave, but it's just more gravelly, I think. I do not mind having a deep gravitas voice. If I could talk like Maya Angelou or Oprah, even. She's got a deep voice. What would Oprah do? So, and what else? Last thing I have on my list. So if you have anything you want to ask, start getting your comments in about that. I want to go see Wakanda Forever this weekend. It's something that may surprise you. I'm not a superhero movie fan all that much. I do like action movies. Actually, I like action movies a lot. Especially if they're kind of like riddle action movies. Like I love National Treasure. I love the what's the one with Tom Hanks where he's solving the mystery of the Celestine prophecy? That one, is that what the movie's called? The one with the all the clues and stuff like that. I like those kinds of movies. Love Sahara. That one's also got Matthew McConaughey in it, which is not bad. But I'm not big on like the Marvel movies, anything like that. However, I adore Black Panther. That is one of my favorite movies. It is so inventive. It is so beautiful. I love the music. I love The Weeknd. Like all of his songs, I love. And they use a lot of his songs in that soundtrack. Um, Leslie's saying, "I call National Treasure Goonies for grown-ups." I love it. Goonies is a great movie too. I just love those kind of action movies. And but Wakanda Forever is the sequel to Black Panther, and Chadwick Boseman, who played Black Panther, died of cancer in between the first one and the second one, and so this one is how they're dealing kind of with his death and like invasion of Wakanda and all of that kind of stuff. And Angela Bassett is his mother, and I think she's the queen in it. I know she is the queen, but I think she like kind of takes back over as queen. But here's the shocking thing. I think that that's going to be the number one movie this weekend, and I'm probably not actually going to see it this weekend because I looked at Cinepolis in Victory Park, which is my very favorite movie theater. And part of the reason it's my favorite movie theater is it never has anybody there. It's always empty. It's got the big seats, got waiters, like super small. It's only like 6 screens, maybe 8 screens. All of that. It is practically sold out this weekend for all of the showings. I went and looked while Mason was getting his haircut. I was looking at the showings, and they're mostly sold out. They have like one seat here and there, and they have the whole front row. Which, have you ever accidentally watched or gone to a movie and you had to sit in the front row? I love that movie theaters now have assigned seats because we went and saw. What did we see? I think it was The Jungle Book. The Jungle Book, which is not a super action movie, but it's action enough. And we were on the front row seeing that. I was with the kids. It was terrible. I was like this the whole like it's just too much in your face, too close, too loud. And I'm getting older, folks. So we'll probably wait until it won't be next weekend because we're leaving. So I will only be here Monday and Tuesday next week because Wednesday I have my staff Thanksgiving lunch here at the house. Hopefully it doesn't smell like burnt plastic like it does right now, but we'll see. And then next Thursday, we're leaving on an RV trip, like the shortest RV trip ever. We're going to Waco. We're going to this place called, what's it called? It's like Fizbo, Filmo, something like that. It's got some whimsical name. It's a new RV resort in Waco. And we're going there on Thursday. We're going to go to the Woolly Mammoth National Park, which just opened in the last few years down there, which they have like a mammoth and her children, her cubs, I don't know what you call a baby mammoth, like perfectly preserved, and you can like walk above it and look down on it and all that kind of stuff. And then obviously Magnolia. We'll go see that. Got to go pay a tribute to Joanna Gaines, who I do adore. And then we're going directly from Waco to Monica's house for Thanksgiving in our RV. I don't know where we're going to park it. I don't know if we're going to park it at Monica's house or at Uncle Mike's parents' house. Aunt Pam, it may be at your is it your brother's house? I think your brother's with Big Mike, right? I don't know that they know about that, by the way, so do not share that information. But we'll be driving Gracie down there and then coming back. It is such a short trip that we may not even tow the Jeep. I may drive one of the Range Rovers behind it, so that we just have a nicer car, because it's like an hour and a half there, an hour to Monica's house, and then 3 hours, 2.5 hours back. It may not be worth it to like hook it up and all that kind of stuff. So I've never heard the words whimsical and Waco in the same sentence. I am excited to go to Magnolia, to the silos, because I have not been since they expanded it. Last time we were there, it was just at phase 1, and now they have like the baseball field, they have the chapel, they have all these other shops. Like I think they've done such a magnificent job with that. So, but yeah, Waco, I wouldn't call it whimsical either. You are right. Sandy says, I want to see Spirited with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. I'm a Ryan fan. Oh, he's so cute. And Will Ferrell is so funny. I love him. The Legend of Ricky Bobby cracks me up Talladega Nights. Isn't that the same one? I think it is. So, dear Black Baby Jesus, I love it when they're doing that. What is popping up there? What's for dinner? Tonight is chili night for me. So it was going to be for us too, but the kids have begged for pizza, and we normally order pizza. And I'll tell you, my daughter Claire is so big on tradition. So we're probably going to order pizza. Todd and I are actually going to drinks with somebody that talk about City Lab High School. This is my life these days, talking about schools. We're going to drinks with them to talk about their experience with their son there. And I bought the fixins for chili, but so I'm going to make it tomorrow night instead, because it's still going to be chilly tomorrow. But tonight would have been a better chilly night. Oh, that's your favorite. Ricky Bobby is your favorite Will Ferrell character too. Yes, love him. The Griswolds. I know, that's us. Shitter's full. That's us. We have a nice one though. Eric, you saw Ryan Reynolds once at a political event in LA and you swooned. Oh, he is so cute, so dreamy. Alrighty, well, with that, I'm going to say bye. Y'all have a great weekend. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. I love that you watched this. Thank you so much. I have missed you the last few days, and I will miss you the next couple of days. And I will see you on Monday at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say? Ooh, that was deep. Talk to you later. Bye. Even that is deep. Bye. Bye.